Have you ever found yourself standing in front of a mirror, looking at your reflection, and wondering what it would actually take to be that guy? You know the one I'm talking about. He's not necessarily the strongest man in the room, nor is he the richest or the one wearing a designer suit that costs more than a car. And yet, when he walks in, the atmosphere shifts. People lean in when he speaks. Women notice him, not because he's shouting for attention, but because he radiates a kind of magnetic pull that feels effortless. Most guys look at a man like that and think, he must have been born with it, or I need to spend 3 years in the gym and get a total face transplant to even come close to that level of attraction. But I'm here to tell you that you've been sold a lie. The glow-up culture we see on social media, the one that tells you that you need perfect genetics, a six-pack, and $1 million to be desirable, is missing the mark entirely. The truth is much more subtle, much more attainable, and frankly, much more powerful. Women notice the small things. They notice the tiny shifts in your behavior, the subtle habits you cultivate, and the way you carry yourself when you think no one is watching. These are the things that actually build attraction. Today, we're going to break down the specific, actionable things that you can start doing right now, things that will make you noticeably hotter, more compelling, and more respected without requiring a single change to your DNA. Let's start with something so simple that most men dismiss it as insignificant. But it is arguably one of the biggest unintentional attraction hacks in existence, speaking more slowly and more clearly. Think about it. When someone is nervous, what do? They rush, they mumble, they try to get their words out as fast as possible because, subconsciously, they don't feel like they deserve the space or the time to be heard. But when a man slows down his speech, when he takes the time to articulate his thoughts and actually finishes his sentences, the energy in the room changes. It makes you seem grounded, it makes you seem thoughtful, and, most importantly, in total control of yourself and your environment. There is a deep psychological link between slow, deliberate speech and leadership. Women subconsciously associate this cadence with confidence, maturity, and stability. You aren't rushing because you aren't seeking validation. You aren't afraid of the silence between words because you are comfortable in your own skin. Now, I'm not saying you should speak like you're in slow motion or sound like a robot. It's about the intention behind the words. Try this the next time you're in a conversation. Pause for just 1 second before you respond. Don't feel the need to fill every gap with or like. That 1 second pause communicates that you're actually processing what the other person said, rather than just waiting for your turn to talk. It's a subtle shift, but it changes the way people perceive your intelligence and your status instantly. Moving on to the second point, which is a fundamental shift in how you view your own existence, you must start treating yourself like a priority, not an afterthought. We've all seen the guy who looks like he just rolled out of a laundry basket. Maybe he's a great guy, but his appearance says, I don't really care about myself, so why should you? A lot of men treat their personal upkeep like something they have to squeeze in at the very last minute. It's a quick shower, a swipe of deodorant, and maybe a haircut every few months if they remember. That is the bare minimum. And let's be honest, the bare minimum is rarely attractive. The men who command the most attention are the ones who treat their personal care as an act of self-respect. It isn't about being vain or spending 3 hours in front of a mirror. It's about sending a message to the world and to yourself that you value who you are. When you make yourself a priority, it shows up in ways that are impossible to ignore. Your skin looks healthier not because of some expensive 12-step routine, but because you are consistent with the basics. You drink your water, you wash your face, and you use a moisturizer. Your hair looks intentional, whether it's styled or just neatly kept. It doesn't look like an accident. You smell clean, which is one of the most powerful sensory triggers for attraction. But it goes deeper than that. Women notice the details that men often overlook. They notice if your beard lines are crisp or if you have stray hairs on your neck. They notice if your eyebrows are groomed or if you have visible nose hair. And perhaps most importantly, they notice your hands. Trimmed nails and clean cuticles are a massive indicator of a man's overall hygiene and attention to detail. It shows that you are a man who takes care of his business. When you carry yourself like someone who is worth taking care of, you naturally project a sense of stability and quiet confidence. You don't have to change your genetics to do this. You just have to change your standards. This brings us to our third pillar of attraction, the clothes you wear and, more importantly, how they fit your body. I want to clear something up right now. You do not need to spend thousands of dollars on designer brands to look good. You don't need the latest trends or the most expensive sneakers. What you need is fit. Fit is the absolute king of style. Every stylish man you've ever admired, from the A-list celebrity to the guy at the local coffee shop who just seems to have his life together, has mastered the art of proportions. The unfortunate truth is that most men are walking around in clothes that are working against them. They are wearing shirts that are 2 sizes too big, which makes them look smaller and less confident, or they're squeezing into pants that are so tight they look uncomfortable. Your body's a dynamic thing. It changes as you gain muscle, lose weight, or simply get older. Your wardrobe must evolve with you. You become instantly more attractive when you embrace the body you have today. If you've been hitting the gym and your shirts are getting tight in the wrong places, size up. If you've lost weight and your jeans are sagging, it's time to move on. One of the best investments a man can make is a relationship with a local tailor. Getting your pants hemmed or having the waist of a jacket taken in costs very little, but it makes a $20 shirt look like it was custom made for your frame. When your clothes fit properly, they create clean lines and sharp proportions that make you look taller, broader, and more capable. But there's an emotional side to this as well. When a woman sees a man dressing the body he has today, she sees emotional maturity. She saw in him a self-aware man who wasn't clinging to the version of himself he was 10 years ago. It was about dressing purposefully, and that purpose was incredibly attractive. Now let's talk about a silent communicator who speaks volumes before you even open your mouth, your posture. You can have the best clothes and the best hairstyle in the world, but if you slouch, your shoulders slump, and your head is down, you're losing your appeal. Anyone can stand up straight when they're thinking about it. You're probably doing it right now as you listen to this, but the truly attractive men are the ones whose posture remains strong even when they aren't aware of it. Posture is a window into your psychological state. It tells the world whether you're a predator or prey, a leader or a follower. When you stand tall, with your shoulders back and your chest open, you look more athletic. Proper alignment elongates your frame, making your shoulders appear broader and your waist narrower. These are biological cues that women are hardwired to pick up on. It signals health, strength, and vitality. Furthermore, your clothes will simply look better on you. A well-tailored suit is wasted on a man who slumps. But beyond the physical, good posture sends a message of confidence. It says, I am comfortable in my space. I am not trying to hide. It gives off a masculine, steady, grown man presence. If you struggle with this, don't just try to remember to stand straight. You need to build the muscles that support your spine. Focus on your core, not just the abs you see in the mirror, but the deep stabilizing muscles. Work on your hip mobility and your upper back strength. When those muscles are strong, good posture becomes your default state, no longer an effort. And when your default state is one of strength and openness, you will find that the way the world treats you begins to change. The 5th point is something that is becoming increasingly rare in our modern world, and because it's rare, it is incredibly high-value intentional manners. Now, I'm not talking about the performative manners that some guys use when they're trying to game a woman or impress someone on a first date. People can smell that kind of insincerity a mile away. I'm talking about a quiet, consistent courtesy that is baked into who you are as a man. It's the way you treat people when there is absolutely nothing in it for you. Do you speak to the waiter with genuine respect? Do you hold the door for the person behind you, regardless of who they are? Do you step aside to let others pass in a crowded hallway? These are small gestures, but they are massive indicators of your character. Women find socially aware men incredibly attractive because it shows emotional intelligence. It shows that you aren't the center of your own universe. It signals that you're grounded, mature, and this is a big one, safe. A man who is rude to a service worker but nice to his date is showing a red flag that most women will pick up on instantly. But a man who carries himself with dignity and treats everyone with respect exudes a type of gentlemanly energy that is timeless. It shows you have self-control and a good upbringing. It makes people want to be around you because you make the environment better just by being in it. Don't do it because you want a reward. Do it because it's who you are. While we are on the subject of social interactions, let's discuss the power of warmth in your facial expressions. There is a common misconception among men that to be alpha or masculine, you have to be stoic, cold, and unreadable. You've seen the guys who walk around with a permanent scowl, thinking it makes them look tough. In reality, It usually just makes them look insecure or unapproachable. True confidence doesn't need a shield. A man who can show warmth, a man who can offer a genuine, small smile when he greets someone, is infinitely more attractive than a man who is trying to look like a statue. Warmth signals that you're emotionally open and secure. It makes people feel safe in your presence. When you're listening to someone, let your face soften. Use your eyes to show that you're engaged. You don't have to be overly expressive or theatrical. It's about mirroring the friendliness of the person you're with. This doesn't make you weak, it makes you a leader. Leaders are people who others want to follow, and no one wants to follow someone who looks like they're perpetually annoyed at the world. Making a woman feel safe and comfortable is one of the highest forms of attraction, and that starts with the energy you project through your face. The seventh habit is one that is often ignored because it's not flashy, but it is the foundation of a high-value life, having a stable daily rhythm. We live in a world of chaos, and a man who can create his own order is a man who stands out. Women are naturally drawn to stability. This doesn't mean you have to be boring or that every minute of your life has to be planned out. It means that you have a consistent, reliable rhythm to your existence. A man with a routine signals that he is capable of managing himself and his responsibilities. It shows self-discipline, which is one of the most attractive traits a human being can possess. When you have regular workout times, it shows you care about your health. When you have a consistent wake-up time, it shows you have a purpose for your day. When you keep your living space clean and organized, it shows that you have control over your environment. All of these things feed into a woman's perception of your reliability. She thinks, if he can take care of himself, his health, and his home, he can handle a relationship, he can handle a family, he can handle a crisis. Self-discipline is a proxy for emotional regulation. A man who can't get himself out of bed or keep his room clean is a man who will likely struggle when life gets difficult. But a man with structure exudes a quiet, magnetic confidence. He isn't reactive, he is proactive. He isn't rushing, he is moving with purpose. That kind of stability is a breath of fresh air in a world of situationships and flaky behavior. Now, let's talk about the art of conversation, and specifically showing genuine curiosity. Most people in this world don't actually listen. They just wait for their turn to speak. They are so busy trying to figure out how to look cool or what clever thing to say next that they completely miss the person standing right in front of them. You want to become instantly more attractive. Stop trying to be interesting and start being interested. When someone is talking to you, listen to understand, not just to respond. Ask the questions that no one else asks. Instead of just saying, "Oh, cool," ask, "What made you decide to start that?" Or, "How did that experience change your perspective?" When you show genuine curiosity, you're giving the other person the gift of being truly seen and heard. This is incredibly rare and therefore incredibly magnetic. It's not about performing charm, it's about connection. Women don't want a guy who is a walking resume of his achievements. They want a guy who is engaged, who is present, and who makes them feel like the only person in the room. As the saying goes, focus on connecting instead of impressing. Ironically, the less you try to impress people, the more impressed they will be by you. Finally, we reach the ninth point, which is the ultimate test of a man's character and attractiveness: staying calm under pressure. Life is going to throw garbage at you. It's unavoidable. You're going to get stuck in traffic when you're already late. Someone is going to make a rude comment to you. A project at work is going to fall apart. You're going to get a flat tire in the rain. In those moments, the world, and especially the women in your life, is watching to see how you respond. Do you blow up? Do you spiral into a pit of frustration? Do you take it out on the people around you? Or do you stay level-headed? Calmness is a superpower. It is the ultimate expression of emotional intelligence and self-control. When a man can stay cool when everything's going wrong, it communicates a profound message. I can handle this. I can handle life. That is undeniably attractive. It's the James Bond effect, the ability to remain steady in the face of chaos. It shows that you are not a slave to your emotions, but the master of them. This kind of composure provides a sense of security to everyone around you. It makes you a rock, a fixed point in a turning world. And there is nothing more magnetic than a man who is the calm in the middle of the storm. So, here is the reality: you don't need a massive overnight transformation to become the most attractive version of yourself. You don't need to win the lottery or have a surgeon change your face. What you need is to realize that attraction is built on a foundation of small, consistent habits. It's about how you speak, how you dress the body you have, how you stand, and how you treat the world around you. It's about the respect you show yourself through your hygiene and your routine. It's about the calm you maintain when things get difficult. Most guys are looking for the magic pill, the one big thing that will solve all their problems. But the magic is in the details. The magic is in the consistency. If you start with just 1 or 2 things from this list today, maybe you decide to speak a little slower, or you finally take those pants to the tailor, or you start a simple skincare routine, you will be surprised at how quickly the world's perception of you begins to shift. People will start treating you differently. You will start feeling differently about yourself. And that, my friend, is the real glow-up. It's not about becoming someone else. It's about finally allowing the best version of yourself to be seen. Focus on the process. Focus on self-respect, and let the attraction take care of itself. You have everything you need right now to be a high-value, compelling man. Now, go out there and act like it. Thank you for listening, and remember the small things aren't just small things. They are everything. Keep growing, keep refining, and stay confident.